Okay, everyone, welcome back. So we are about to demonstrate to you, to show to you how we administer our Gumboro vaccine in our farm. I'm not a vet, so this is not veterinary, advice. You should consult your vet. We're only demonstrating what we do in our farm. So one of the key important thing to consider is where do your source of, you know, your Gomboro vaccine. So you must be very careful. Make sure that wherever you sourcing your vaccine, preferably you get a vet. If you are a newbie, you don't have an idea, get a vet, pay for a veterinary service. They will come, they will administer, your vaccine for your bird, because you could have vaccine failure, and vaccine failure is very, very detrimental to your farm. In fact, it can wipe out the entire flock. Vaccine failure is literally exactly what it is. You do not administer the vaccine the right way it should be administered. These vaccines, what it does is that it helps more in prevention. Really, that is what it does. It helps in protecting the bird. It introduces some of this, some of the things in the bird. I'm not a vet, but I know that vaccine is good for my bird. So you need to be careful of having vaccine failure. And one way that you can avoid this is by making sure that you contact your vet if you're a newbie, if you don't know how to, if you don't have experience, to come and administer your vaccine to your birds. But the likes of us that have experience, that have raised thousands of chickens, we have experience, we know how to do it. So the first thing is you must be careful where you source your vaccine. Make sure it's a reputable, veterinary shop, or a shop around you, or a pet clinic, wherever. Make sure that it's reliable and reputable, because what happen is that some of these roadside shops that are, they may not have good electricity, and this thing needs to be put in fridge. It needs to be put in fridge constantly. It needs to be in it. As you can see, it's actually very cold. Actually, it was, even though there was an ice inside, but now it has melted, but it's still very cold. So you really want to make sure that it's cold, that the vaccine itself is potent. So that's number one. Number two, like as I have demonstrated in the previous video, you make sure, like, what the practice we do here is that we, at least 30 minutes to 1 hour, we remove the water from the bird. So if we because we don't, before we give vaccine, we make sure that we just give them water like the day before, just ordinary water. And in the morning, like an hour before we give them the vaccine, at least an hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour, we discard any water there, but we just keep maybe one or two, you know, drinkers for them. So that the idea is that, so that they will be thirsty, and when you put in the vaccine, they would be able to drink it, because they are thirsty. So this is 1,000 dose. We have 1,000 bell there, and that is 1,000 dose. You can consult your veterinary to give you the prescription, the dose prescription. But for here, we use 1,000, and then this is 10 liters of water. So it's 10 liters of water, clean water. Just so you know, we've treated our water. So our water is treated. And that's one of the thing I will discuss in one of our YouTube channel about. And this is one of the things that some farmers take for granted, the source of their water. If you get bad water for your birds, you could literally have big catastrophe in your farm, because what happened is that you could have issues with diarrhea. It's just like human being. If you drink bad water, you could have diarrhea, you could have typhoid, just name it. So it's very, very important that you treat your water. We had an issue with diarrhea in our farm once, and when we had the veterinary came, one of the issue was the water. So we had to treat the water. You understand? You take your water to the state water board. They will help you. Maybe for you have to pay, of course, but they help you shake the component of the water. They will let you know whether the water itself is good for your bird or not. They would also recommend treatment. For us, we ask them to come and treat our water for us. So make sure the water itself is clean. You get your drinkers are ready, and the vaccine itself is still in a very cold cold nylon, as is in the case. So the simple thing to do is you open. So this is it. You see. So this is one of the mistake people do, is that after they've removed their vaccine, they just go ahead immediately and they start putting it. No, you must check the content of the vaccine. You must check whether it's gomboro, because sometimes some of these shops they make mistake. In fact, we've had that experience, where we wanted to buy gomboro and we were given lasota. So you don't want that kind of situation. So as you can see, is 1,000 doses of infectious bursar disease, that's the gomboro vaccine. And the next thing you check is the expiring date of the vaccine. As you can see, let me show it to you. You can see it's 1,000 doses of infectious bursar disease. That's the gomboro. And then you see the date. The expiring date will be in January 2024. It was actually produced in January. This year it has NAFDAC registration number. So it's important that you check that. You check this information. You don't just go pa 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 pa. You are not in a hurry. Take your time. So once you check it and you see that is fine, is the vaccine that you want, and the expiring date is good, then you can go ahead to open the vaccine. Now, this is what we usually do. We open the vaccine. When we open the vaccine, so this is the vaccine. I've removed the lid on top, and you can see it's very sealed. It's sealed. So you need to make sure that you check that your vaccine is sealed. Now, some people would just open their vaccine like this, and then they put it in. I don't do that. What I do is that I open my vaccine inside the water. I have seen vets do that, so I'm just practicing what I see. But with what I've heard, sometimes some people said is because they don't want air to enter into the vaccine, that it could affect the potency of it. I'm not sure how true that is. Maybe if they are vets that is watching this video, you can put down in the description box below and tell us, is it the right practice or not, or if there are something that we're doing that maybe it's not right. And if you're a veterinary that is watching this video, please do well to also educate us. But this is what we practice in our farm, and we've never had any experience of vaccine failure, but we are always open to learning. So this is what we do. We check it and make sure that it's completely sealed, and then we put it inside. We open it inside. And then you shake, you see, and then you make sure that everything goes in, you see. Now, having checked it and we make sure that everything, the particles is completely dissolved, we add milk. I have seen in various groups where some people said it's not necessary. Some said it's necessary to keep, the viruses or whatever it is. Is it the viruses or yeah, or whatever it is to inside, to keep the vaccine active or the vaccine, I'm not a vet, but I've seen vets use this, and I've seen in group where people had milk to the vaccine too. Basically, the idea is to keep, the vaccine itself, alive, because they feed on the viruses, they feed on the milk. I don't know. You tell me, because for we are also learning. For we, our idea is to show it as raw, as real as possible, the way we do it, and it has not failed us. We've never had experience since setting up this farm of, vaccine failure. We've always maintained very good mortality rate in this farm. So we're just demonstrating what we do in our farm. But some people do not include milk; they just take the vaccine after miss and then give it to the bird. So you tell us what you do. If you add milk, do you add milk? Do you not add milk, and why? Some people also said that the reason they put milk is because it makes the bird wants to drink it, like they like the taste. I don't know, but I think I'll research more on this. To even though it's a practice that I've been doing, that many farmers around me are doing, that many people in the group also are doing. But really, it would be nice to have. I think I asked the vet why this practice, why they put milk in the vaccine. If you know, please let me know. So this is it. So let me just tell you something. We in our farm, like almost like in every day, we have people coming to the farm looking for bird, asking for bird. They want to buy bird every single day. And sometimes some farms will be like, oh, we don't have sales. Probably someone is knocking at the gate. It may even be someone that wants to come and buy chicken. But we discuss marketing. We talk about how to sell, how to market yourself, how to put yourself out there. both in raining season and in dry season. We'll share with you some of the strategies and tactics that we do in our farm. So please stay tuned. The next thing is we would put it here. So we'll just put it in the drinker. This is the next thing we're going to do is we just put it in. So the drinkers are already washed, so you must make sure your drinkers are washed. Some people do some people vaccinate their bird, like they just mix it and just put it in their mouth like this. In fact, my vet does that as well. He will just sometimes he'll come, just put when I want to vaccinate, we just mix it and then he would just dip it, or you put it in their eyes or in their nostril, and that's how my vet does it. But we just put it and we give it to them to drink. So you can do, because the reason why we do that is, we don't want to stress the bird, like picking them up. It usually stresses them. And one of the things that broilers are very fragile, one of the things, if it is like day old chick, you can do that practice. But at this, if you're having like a bird that's 1 week, they've not taken water since morning, since about an hour ago, and then you start picking them one after the other. In fact, we could also have an issue of paralysis, because and that's why we just prefer to just give it to them as drinking water, as we're doing like this, for them to drink. But I must tell you, one of the danger of this, or one of the disadvantage of this approach, is that you may have a situation where maybe few of your birds may not be able to drink because maybe they are bullied by bigger birds. You may experience that. And we've seen that. But so the way we address that is we just rotate the drinker. So you just make sure you move the drinker around. You drink, you move it around, so that it's spread. But usually they said if you have about 70-80% of the birds, if they've taken it, then I think that's okay, because you would also give them gomboro again, so it's not just one. So we do, as in this farm, we do 7 days intervals. On the first 7 days we do gomboro, on the 14th day we do lasuta, on the 21st day we do gomboro, and then on the 28th day we do lasuta. So it's gomboro, lasuta. But we've had experience where we had an hatchery that gave us a different approach. In fact, they said we should start with lasuta on the 5th day, actually, because their birds usually comes up with, like, the bird itself is prone to having Newcastle disease, so that's one way they said, okay, you need to introduce them, to give them that protective measure by giving them that lasuta at 5 days. So you also need to, maybe one of the things you do is to consult the hatcheries and ask them how to administer, what is their vaccination schedule, how that is best for their bird. Maybe you may need to consider that. But for what we've done usually is gomboro first 7 day. First day we give them IO. We usually do IO first day. Give them IO vaccine, and then but some farmers don't, but we do, because we just want to protect them against viral disease or whatever diseases, and some don't give vaccine, some do organic throughout. But one of the things I always say is keep reading, and each farm is different from another farm. You could, your practice that you're doing may be working for you, but make sure that even if it's working for you, that is the right practice. And the way it's the right practice is to read and do consultation. But sometimes the truth is that's just the truth. The truth is that some vet I wouldn't say do not know what they are doing. But I've seen farmers say this, that some vets do not have the practical knowledge, because the practical knowledge is different from theories. When you are, it's a different thing when you are a farmer. And sometimes you go ask some of these vets and you see that sometimes some, and I use the word some, they do not really have the practical knowledge. Maybe what they read is something that maybe it was like, maybe it's outdated or something, or maybe some of the things they will give you, you practice it exactly as they put it, or exactly as they tell you to do it, and you realize that you're not getting the result. So I'm not trying to, I respect all vets, I listen to all vets, I listen to my vet, I consult, I'm always learning, I'm always in various educative platforms with regard to poultry. But the point I'm trying to raise is, just keep acquiring knowledge. Okay, let's go.